Don't forget to subscribe to this channel to get the health tips. So today in this video we are going to understand the overall architecture or the holistic view of Einstein Copilot. One platform before the Einstein One platform was there. These were our applications like sales, service, marketing, e-commerce, and then we have industry specific application. Now Einstein Copilot can interact with all of these applications. We saw that Salesforce has already given us standard actions for all these applications, and there will be certain actions specific to the industries. For example, Health Cloud, Financial Cloud, Salesforce will give certain standard actions which will be available on that particular industry cloud. Now with this, we have Einstein One Studio, which is what we use to configure our Einstein Copilot for everything that is specific to Einstein One. So the first one is Prompt Builder. We have not seen the Prompt Builder yet, but it is very similar to what we have already seen, like this Copilot Builder in the Prompt Builder. It gives us the same look and feel where you can configure your prompts. You can test your prompt to see with this prompt what is the output that I'm about to get. You can try different utterances, you can try different combinations to see the output that is coming up. We will look into the prompt builder in detail. Copilot builder, we already saw the Copilot builder where we actually build our Copilot certain actions. We remove certain actions. We will try out all the possible input that a user can give and see how Copilot is behaving. So similarly, we have model builder. The Einstein platform is utilizing certain LM in the back end, which is like OpenAI and from Anthropic. These are different LM that Salesforce is currently utilizing, but also allows us to bring our own. So that is why LM, bring your own LM. So those LM you can configure through the model builder. We have RAG semantic searches monitoring, and then this information is passed to the model through Einstein trust layer. We will again discuss Einstein trust layer in detail, but here we see that the data that has to pass to the model, that it retrieves data securely, which means that it will also look for the user permissions and check if the specific data needs to be passed to LM or not. Like PIA data or PI data will be masked, which is here data masking. It will do dynamic grouping, which means that there is, let's say there is a prompt that will in the prompt that I want specific information about a particular account. So dynamically during the runtime, that information will be fed into the prompt, and then that prompt will be given to the LM model. Again, we have data masking, which means that if the data or the information or the question that we are passing to the LM model consists of certain PII and PII information that will be masked before sending to the LM model. It will also check that for the toxicity, and if there is any, it will be removed that before sending it to the LM model. And so this is something we just saw it through the event logs. Whatever the interaction that user is having with the Copilot, that is being audited, and it is being logged into the system so that it can be referred later. And then we have zero data retention, which means that Salesforce has contact with this LM provider that the information or the questions or any data that are passed to this LM model should not be stored into the LM model, and right away it should not be used by the LM provider to train their own model again and again. So that comes under a zero data retention. Again, then in the model agility, we have all these models. So we have AI Anthropics, LM model. As we discussed, Salesforce does not allow you to bring your own model. So you can bring your model, you can fine tune it through the model builder, and the Einstein Copilot works with all the Salesforce data, which means CRM data plus the data cloud. You can have the data coming from data cloud or from CRM, and everything can go through the Einstein Copilot. Along with that, if certain data resides in a third-party system, that can also be brought and can be fed into these LM models. For that, you can write external APIs through the custom actions, obviously, and then these custom actions can get the data from that external API. For example, let's say MuleSoft from any other third party or any third party database, and that can also be passed through this Einstein layer, and then can be given to this model, and then we will get back to the required information that we asked for. So overall, this is a holistic view of how Einstein platform looks like. And this is what we will be using to build our Einstein Copilot, or to build a certain prompt templates that can be used by Einstein Copilot. So in this video, let's understand how Einstein Copilot actually works. So the working of Einstein Copilot can be very much explained in this diagram. So when a prompt or any question is asked to Einstein Copilot, the first thing it does is try to understand the intent of the question. So here the prompt that the user has given is can you create an email to Alex Mitchell about our new sustainability program. This is where the Copilot has to understand that the intent here is to send an email. But to send the email, it needs to know about the record, Alex Mitchell, as well as the sustainability program. So this is where it creates a plan. That is the plan that has come up with, and this is all it has decided. The plan says that to create an email, it first have to identify the record. Because the user has only given the name Alex Mitchell, it has to find the ID of it so that it can get the ID, so it can get all the data of that. So for that, it will execute one of the action called identity record by name. So once it identifies the record, it will draft an email. It might revise that email. So once it has identified all the actions that it has to take to perform this operation, it starts performing them. So to do that, it may invoke different flows or Apex classes or maybe some prompt template or maybe some external APIs. It depends on what type of action it is. But let's say that to perform this operation, some custom actions were required. Those custom actions could have been written in Apex flows or where it makes some external callouts. So Einstein would have performed those operations if it would have been also grounded the CRM data into that before sending it to the LM model. Now to generate an email template, Einstein will send the specific prompt to the LM model, and in that it will ground the actual data, which is here is Alex Mitchell's information. So before invoking the LM model, it will also perform different operations. As we discussed, it will perform data masking so that this PII data should not be there in the prompt, which is to be about to send in to the LM model. And once the data comes back, that is where it shows on the UI. So this is how Einstein Copilot performs an operation. It identifies the prompt. From the prompt, it identifies what is the intent, what exactly is the final outcome that I have to give to do that. And then it starts performing them one by one. So when we were in Copilot Builder, we saw that it was invoking some of the standard actions. Going further, when we create actions which can solve complicated tasks, then we will say that it's not just one action that Einstein Copilot will invoke. It may invoke multiple actions and are all chained. For example, let's say there is an action which can create a task on a specific record. Now here, if the prompt is to create a task on Alex Mitchell, then the first task is to get the record of Alex Mitchell. Now give this information to the next action which creates the task. So both the actions are chained up here. The first action is to identify a record and the second action is to create the task. So that it comes in the planning part where Copilot understands what are the different actions I have to perform. And this is where the most important part comes. Developer and admin is to give the proper description, because while generating the plan, like while finding which action I have to perform, it would have looked into the description that we have given in the action. Let's say, as I said, let's say the action is to create a task. Then our action should mention that this action is used to create a task. Looking at the description, Einstein will understand that, okay, this action can help me to perform my task. And finally, after performing all the actions, it gives us the final outcome. So after this, let's understand the Einstein trust layer in detail. So the CRM application, including the Copilot, is residing here. It has access to all the CRM data as well as data coming from our data cloud or maybe some third-party applications. So the data or the question or the prompt that an agent has asked to Copilot will give it to the LM model. But before giving this information to the LM model, Einstein trust layer comes in between. It takes the prompt of the question that we are about to send to the LM model. Now in that, if it requires certain CRM data, it retrieves it securely and then it performs some dynamic grounding in the sense we are generating an email or summarizing a record for a specific account record. Then that information need to be feed into the prompt during the dynamic grounding. Then the data masking happens. So the prompt may consist of certain data which we do not want to send to the LM model. For example, PII data or credit card or any financial information, so that it should be masked before we send it to the LM model. So that Einstein trust layer does here add data mask. It will mask all the details before sending to the LM model. Then only the prompt is given to the LM model. The LM model returns with the response. The response is not directly shown in the UI. The response itself again goes through the UI instant trust layer, where it sees that, okay, the response that the LM has given, does it contain any toxicity? Does it have any hallucination or any such thing? Whatever it finds, it will remove that. It will do the data demasking. So it will have to send the data by masking it to the LM model. Now, once the response comes, it will form the data mask. Then it will check if there is any feedback or any framework that it needs to be invoked. Then it will store the information as an audit trail. As we saw, that information is logged as an event so that it can be referred later. Finally, the final response that the LM model has given. Finally, the final response that the LM model has given will be shown on the UI to the users.